Well, I wasn't planning on doing a hike or making a video today, but I was out meeting somebody to sell some gear that I'm getting rid of. The place I'm at right now is called the Shire Conservation Area in Woonsocket, Rhode Island, or some of you might pronounce it the Shire Conservation Area. Not really sure about this area. The street I pulled onto is a dead-end road. There is a trail here that goes off into the conservation area, but there's really no parking. There's no sign for the trailhead, and the old sign about hunting, trapping being prohibited is kind of been taken over by the tree, and the tree is grown into it and it's faded. So there are a couple trails back here. We're going to walk back here, see what we can see since it's local to my house. So actually there's quite a few trails back here. I'm going to stick to the main one for now because the other ones look like they go up on possibly private property. I'm not sure. There's no trail markers, nothing back here. So it's supposed to be highly rated on Google Maps, and there's also supposed to be a river and pond back here. So we'll take a look back here and see what we can see. Alrighty, so this is the trail that I'm walking right now. Sorry about some of the footage, but I don't have my usual camera with me. I'm just kind of using my phone. Like I said, this was kind of an unplanned adventure, but since I was in the area, I figured I'd check it out. Well, the trail on this side of the little pond area has gotten washed out pretty bad. I'll show you this in a minute. The trail is very muddy. Looks like the pond area might overflow in its banks, and they had some erosion issues. There's a lot of dead down trees. There's also a muffler back there, but whew, the water back here stinks. Doesn't smell like sewage, doesn't smell like swamp. I just cannot describe the smell of the water back here. It's a pretty little area, but whew, man, that water stinks. Alright, I'm going to explore this conservation area just a little bit more. Let me show you how muddy this trail has gotten. Alrighty, so that's the trail that we came down on. Continues down through here. It's a big mud washed out area there, and up over here you can see where it looks like it was all washed out also. There's an old muffler right there. So other than that, the area looks pretty clean other than that muffler, but like I said, the water stinks. Trail is getting muddy. I'm going to go up on one of the other trails, see what I can see. on the other side of the lake or a little pond area now, and it does not smell over on this side. I think the other side is because of where the runoff is. Whatever pollutants or whatever are in the pond are actually draining off that way, because this side does not smell at all. It's actually pretty cool look up on this side too. I'm standing on a bunch of rocks right now, just overlooking the pond and the woods area. But yeah, it's a quiet area for being in Woonsocket. This is over by the Mount St. Charles Academy area off of Gillison Road. Alright, so we got some old rock formations over here. Not sure what they were too. Not sure if they were a stone cellar or are they just natural this way. Or possibly somebody, well, actually, looks like it might be a part of a rock wall that goes off in the distance over here. Like I said, there's many trails that loop around up through here. I don't have a trail map of this area though, so I'm just kind of wandering, staying close by the pond so that I know exactly where I am. Alrighty, so I've come to another fork. I guess I'm going to keep to the left and keep going around the pond area because, like I said, there's no maps back here of this area. Trails don't show up on Google Earth, and also there's no trail markers at all. I might see if I can find this on the All Trails map and see if I can get a bearing that way of where these trails go, but I think for now I'm just going to keep continuing around the pond area as a bearing. Alright, so apparently this trail takes you up behind the tanks. Alright, so this trail took me up behind the tanks, up behind a shopping center warehouse over by Firestone Tire. So I'm going to head back down by the pond area and continue some of the trails down around that area. looks like possibly Woonsocket does have some coyotes. There's a lot of fur in that, so coyotes are pretty much taking over every area. So you got to be careful of them. Usually I carry at least a knife with me, but unfortunately today I don't have one. Like I said, this was kind of a spur of the moment exploration. Some old piping out here, and that's an old cylinder. So I'm not sure exactly what it is. Could be an old gas cylinder. Yeah, that's interesting. Some old piping out here as well. Looks like somebody lost their push bar to a Jeep or a four-wheeler out here. I don't have one, so I'm not going to claim it for use for myself. But it's possibly what that is. Okay, so the trails continue to loop around on themselves. I'm headed back down by the pond area to get back to the car, because the direction I was going is going to lead onto private property behind somebody's house, and we don't want to be walking into their backyard. So head back down to the pond, take the other trail out. Alrighty, so I'm back at the car, and the only interesting things to see are on the Gillison roadside, back to the pond and the trails that loop back on itself. The further you get back behind the pond, the more it's just swampy and full of mosquitoes. Like I said, there's really nothing out here to mark that this is a state conservation area with hiking trails. So this is the end of Gillison Road in the Mount St. Charles area of Woonsocket. You see where they put up a gate to indicate that the road ends, but it's all overgrown. The no dumping sign, you can barely read it, is all overgrown. This is the hiking trail entrance with cement blocks and logs to prevent ATVs and motorcycles coming through here. But I did see a lot of tracks of heavier stuff. And that other sign right there, that's all overgrown. Looks like it once said there shall be no hunting, trapping, carrying of firearms. And then the vines just took over the rest of it. So doesn't look like this conservation area is actually really maintained anymore, although the trails back there are in good shape. So the trail does come highly rated on Google Maps as a hiking area close to Woonsocket, or actually in Woonsocket, but it's actually not on the All Trails map. And like I said, a lot of the trails just wind back on themselves. There are no trail markers to tell you which trail you're on. There's no trail map, and like I said, there's no sign to even say this conservation area even exists. If you want to check out a swampy pond, some interesting rock formations not far from your house, this is one of the places. Until next time, this is Scott Herview Outdoors. Like, subscribe, and comment on my channel.